Yeah, it's Friday. You know what that means. I know the weekend is on the way. It's almost here, but damn it, we bring in Friday the way we supposed to be. Bringing in Fridays on First Take. I got my boy Swagoo. I got my boy RC. I got Molly off, okay? Because I couldn't take her, right? She needed a vacation because I couldn't tolerate it. I couldn't tolerate it. It's the boys in the house. I just like to dedicate this to me. But because it's RC, because it's Swagoo, I'ma say this for America. Holla at your boys! Whoa! First Takes in the house. Let's go.
Thursday night football, Lambeau Field.
Let's get it started.
Fired, complete to Hilliard.
Tennessee on the board first.
Derrick Henry to Pager. Touchdown, Titans!
You never relax against this quarterback.
Left side, Watson. The Packers jump back into it. Fires middle.
Touchdown! The Tennessee Titans have beaten the Green Bay Packers.
I'm on the right track.
What a way to kick off the show. Welcome into First Take. I'm Victoria Arland, filling in for Molly alongside Stephen A. Smith, bringing in the energy and the fire. We've got Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark here and a few more friends joining us later on. Happy Friday. Woo!
By the way, one other thing I want to make sure I add.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia, boxer extraordinaire, lightweight champion. Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the biggest fights of this decade. Ryan Garcia will be on today.
So it is a happy Friday indeed for
us.
That's
right.
But it's not a happy Friday for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. He's not a bad man. He's just bad right now.
Yeah, it's just not a great day for Aaron Rodgers, who went, might add 24 for 39 for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. But in the team's last 2 drives, was unable to convert on 4th down, inevitably losing 27-17 to the Titans at Lambeau Field. And it was a very different performance than what we saw against the Cowboys last week that snapped their 5-game losing streak. As Coach Matt LaFleur said after last night's loss, you're only as good as your last game.
To put on a performance like that, I don't even know what to say. There was nothing like a few days ago, and that's why you're only as good as your last game.
I'm not going to make excuses about my thumb. It's been the same since New York. Didn't have the same type of consistent grip and ball coming out the same way. I threw a lot of kind of wobblers tonight. Just missed a few throws I should have had. I mean, definitely the one to Sammy and the one to Allen for sure.
All right, so with all of that, Stephen A., who is most at fault for the current position that the Packers are in?
To me, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm no big fan of Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize for that. The fact of the matter is, I think the things that you consistently complain about with Matt LaFleur, what I recognize is that every time you complain about something, it's never resolved. The same problems that plagued them early in the season, fellas, is the same problem that plagues them as the season progresses. It's just that you had the greatness of Aaron Rodgers to lean on throughout the years, which is why you had back-to-back 13-win seasons. But in the end, I'm still going to tell you that it comes down to Aaron Rodgers. He's underthrowing. He's overthrowing, okay? He's not making plays the way that he customarily could. There are times when receivers are not open. There's no doubt about that. But there are times when they are open. And he's still not throwing the ball with the level of accuracy that we're accustomed to seeing him throw the football with. Now, do I believe he can resurrect himself? Yes, just not this season. This season is officially over for the Green Bay Packers. You ain't going to no damn playoffs. It's a wrap. But I will tell you why I hold Aaron Rodgers accountable more than anything else. And I've said this, Swagoo. I've said this, RC, religiously as this season has progressed. I hold Aaron Rodgers primarily responsible for the departure of Davante Adams. I truly do.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is Davante Adams is an all-world receiver. Davante Adams is on the record stating that part of the reason he departed for Vegas wasn't just to play with his boy, his college buddy, and Derek Carr, who certainly doesn't measure up to Aaron Rodgers. It's because Aaron Rodgers was hemming and hawing about wanting to retire or wanting to move on from Green Bay, and he wasn't steadfast about remaining a Green Bay Packer. So it wasn't money because the Packers could afford to pay Devontae Adams just as much as he got paid from the Raiders. It was the fact that the season seemed up in the air, or the future seemed up in the air when it pertained to Aaron Rodgers. And when you are a quarterback and you have a receiver that damn elite, you are supposed to prioritize keeping him. Evidently, Aaron Rodgers said, you know what, I'm going to be fine whether he's here or not. And look at what has happened. It's a damn shame, but there's no way in hell that if you are a quarterback of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, that you are supposed to even think about letting somebody as valuable as Devontae Adams walk out the damn door. That's where my accountability lies when I look at the Green Bay Packers, fellas.
S.A., that's fair, because when you think about the struggles of this team earlier in the year, it was really about being explosive and his continuity with wide receivers. Well, who had the best continuity over the last 5 years in the NFL when it comes to quarterback and wide receiver? That's Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. We are talking historical together. And look, he can't control everything that Devontae Adams was thinking or how he wanted to go about his future going forward. But I'm sure, to your point, it would have weighed in a lot on how Devontae Adams thought about not only the negotiation process with Green Bay, but also staying there and trying to win a championship. Fellas, this is a back-to-back 13-3 team from the previous 2 years. A lot of people had the Green Bay Packers as the favorite to go to the Super Bowl, not win games, not have a successful season, to go to a Super Bowl. And so many people got on television, like myself, and was like, listen, man, this Devontae Adams thing is bigger than everybody thinks. Not only did it lead to the departure, it led to the continuity that does not exist in Green Bay. And look, last week when I gave them credit because this was a team that was reeling, had lost 5 games in a row, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. So it's something to be said for that. The one thing I came away from this Tennessee Titans game thinking, and I think everybody knew it, a lot of people holding out hope because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback and we were waiting on things that we thought could get better faster and waiting on them to get better. This is a bad football team. That's really what it boils down to. Outside of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon and the seemingly emergence of Christian Watson in the last 2 weeks, nothing else about this Green Bay Packers football team worries anybody. The defense doesn't worry anybody. When you talk about scoring points on them, when you talk about running the football, and yeah, they did a great job against Derrick Henry, and then Ryan Tannehill throws for 300 plus. On offense, once you stop this run game from going, it is very limited to what they do outside of what we saw Christian Watson do last night, just be bigger in the end zone and make a play, and the time for Aaron Rodgers to hit him on an over route. But here's the thing. When we talk about playoffs, let's stop talking about the Green Bay Packers. It's almost like the Lakers in the NBA last year. At some point, it's time to move on to the Minnesota Vikings, who is in this division, who is competing at a very high level, who just went and beat the AFC favorite for the Super Bowl, and now we moving forward. We turning the page on the Green Bay Packers. They are not good this year. Aaron Rodgers is not playing at a high level. A lot of it has to do with Devontae Adams' departure. So let's move on and start talking about other people in the NFC and what their chances are for getting to a Super Bowl.
First off, Stephen A., I want to say congratulations. You did an amazing job at the Apollo Theater Tuesday night. I was in the crowd to see you and Fat Joe and Busta and Big Daddy Kane, Cool D, everybody. I thought it.
You did it up.
Yeah, man. I thought it was amazing, man. I thought it was amazing. Fat Joe was our guest on the Pivot on Tuesday as well. I thought you did a great job of setting up all the stories, just being a part of the entire presentation, man. So I just want to say, as my big brother, it's always great to see you do other things, man. So that was really dope.
Thanks, bro.
And as far as the Green Bay Packers go, I agree with Marcus. Like, we have to accept that this team is not that good. But on the other side of it, Stephen A., I do disagree with you that we haven't seen changes. And here's why. Let's think about the last 2 weeks. All season, we've been saying, Matt LaFleur, get back to your foundation. Get back to that Kyle Shanahan, that Sean McVay motion, creative run game, getting the football out of your quarterback's hand. He He's done that the last 2 weeks. And in the last 2 weeks, you go back to the last week against the Dallas Cowboys, we watched Aaron Rodgers has the ability to make a couple of plays late in the game. Now, this defense absolutely sucks. Like, we expected this defense to be good, and based on the contracts, based on the draft picks, they should be a lot better than they are. And they've let this team down. But if you go back to last night in the fourth quarter, that defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed, that couldn't stop Marcus Spears at tight end, Stephen A. at running back, and Ryan Clark at quarterback, with Victoria calling the plays, they finally got some stops. And when they got those stops, Aaron Rodgers had an opportunity to hit Sammy Watkins wide, butt booty naked open on a third down, and he just missed him. Same thing happens the next drive with Alan Lazard, and he just misses him. And then he throws the fourth down ball out of bounds. That's on Aaron Rodgers. Right. 3 weeks ago, or 3 games ago, against the Detroit Lions, when you turn the football over 2 times in the end zone, 3 times in the red zone, that's on Aaron Rodgers. And he finally, after Detroit, took a little bit of accountability, said he'd come back. Last night, he took accountability and he pointed to those 2 throws. I agree with Marcus. This is not a good team. But I do believe they're trying to play football the way that they can win games now. And that counts on Aaron Rodgers making plays in situational football moments, and he has not. He is a bad man. He's one of the best to ever do it. But right now, he's not that dude, and Matt LaFleur has to accept it, and so do we.
We have to accept it because he does not look good. Yeah. He does not look good at all. I think that while we're going off about this, we need to take a moment, especially me, to pause. Ryan Tannehill played his butt off last night. That brother balled last night. Yes, he did.